we had a 6-year-old from Bourbon Junkies, the Essence brand. That was killer.
You had a 6-year-old kid on taste bourbon? Dude, we go young.
That's a little too young. That's a little too young.
The line over. Welcome back to Arsenic Culture. I'm Matt.
I'm Jason.
Anthony.
From
The Mashup.
the Mashup Podcast. Yeah, thanks for coming back. I haven't even told you yet.
I forgot where I was at for a second.
I haven't even told you. Thanks for coming, man. We appreciate you being here.
I always appreciate you guys having me on.
That's not what he was saying earlier.
I was going to say it earlier, but I wanted to save that for the show because that's premium content filler.
I
Right?
think it's something like, is Anthony fucking coming? I hope he's not. Yeah. I think that's what I heard.
These guys invite me, then I show up, and then they're like, "What is he doing?
Why did you?
Why are you here?
Yeah.
What
No, but
the
seriously,
hell?"
thanks for coming. We always enjoy having you on.
Thank
and
you.
getting your palate on there.
It's fun.
And we are going to do something fun again today. But real quick, we are broadcasting from one of the party houses.
The Brick House.
This is the Brick House. We are in central downtown Lexington. We have done the Bourbon House a few times, but this is an Airbnb you can rent. And I love this one because are any of our cameras pointing that way? They're not, are they?
No.
Right behind this camera that's facing me is a like steel and brick and glass kitchen that was created to join two houses.
It's awesome.
It's fucking badass.
Yeah.
They took two houses and then they just built a layer in between, and it's all glass and steel next to this like old ancient architecture. Like you see this brick pillar that's gonna fall over any second because it's like 300 years old, and then you got like stainless steel everything behind it. I love the architecture in this building, but you guys can rent these central downtown Lexington, partyhouse.com. That's Party H-O-U-S, and we appreciate them letting us film here.
We'll put a link in our YouTube, like in our profile stuff for it too.
Man.
On the
This
post.
has kind of become our go-to like place to record now because there's
Right.
fucking lots of space and it looks good. So
Well, when you guys said that you were recording down here, I didn't know what to expect. And I will say that Jason and I took a tour of the house. We walked all around.
you go over the catwalk
We went
over
all
here.
on the catwalk and everything,
Between
and
the
it
two
is
buildings.
absolutely amazing how this has been done. I
Yeah.
mean, actually, what do you think I did? I sent my wife the link to this and said, "Oh, we should like get a group of people and come stay down here. Even though we live here, we'll just come get a vacation.
Drive 15 minutes, stay downtown.
I heard Jason crying a little bit, holding on to the rail, going in between there, thinking he was going to. It's like on the fucking bridge, like over the Empire State Building or
Jason
something.
don't like heights.
It's up there.
Well, I got a question for you guys.
Yeah, I got the answer.
What do the Notre Dame Cathedral and bourbon have in common?
This bottle.
Literally just this bottle. We got Bardstown Bourbon Company. This light is hitting hard. There you go. This is the Cathedral French Oak Barrel Finish. But this is got some pretty cool, not history per se, but it relates to some really cool history. And I thought what they were doing doing with this is really awesome. You're getting ready to talk.
Good.
Bardstown had taken 300-year-old oak, turned it into barrels, and this is the same oak that they used to rebuild Notre Dame after the fire in 2019.
Correct.
That damaged a lot of it.
How about that?
I'll just mark that off my notes.
I was getting ready to transition to it. And I was like, fuck, I already saw it. So I guess I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
He stole all your thunder.
I got a lot of thunder, don't worry.
There you go.
Yeah, but yeah, I want to get into like the history of like some of the wood because we did a whole episode on barrel aging, which I thought was fascinating.
Oh, that was a great episode.
And it's cool to see like everything get tied in, you know. And our next episode is going to be even more. I'm really excited about that. But do you want to start with like the history of the barrels? Do you want to get into like what the bourbon actually?
I'll say let's get a little pour. Let's get some pour in a second.
No, I don't want to drink it. I just want to talk about it. Yeah.
And then we'll get into the forest aspect here in just a minute.
Okay, if you want to start the pouring, I'll get into the forest.
Look at that bottle.
Let's start the bottle. I'll start the bottle.
Okay, that's
you
cool.
open for us.
Ah.
So this one, like Matt says, from Bardstown Bourbon Company, it's a distillery-only release. And they got these format now that they're doing the 375. So think of it as a pint, you know.
Right.
What do you think of that? Smaller format.
I don't know. I think I go back and forth on it. Old Forester does it. Woodford did it. Woodford's actually moved back now to 700, so it's not quite double.
Not for everything. They're still doing. They did that chocolate whisper redux recently. And
They did that in 375?
That's 375, yeah.
Okay.
Also 139.4 proof. So
that's a lot more than the first one. So I go back and forth on this. I think what it does, a smaller format, in theory, it gives more people access to it.
Sure.
But I heard, here's the weird thing. So, right, 375 would essentially double your output to give people, consumers. But they limit it 2 per person. Like,
really?
What the hell's that? Like, why wouldn't you just put in a 750 if you're doing 2 per person?
Do you think that's artificial scarcity?
No,
You know
I think this is pretty scarce. I mean, this is a blend of some rare stuff. So let me talk about the blend real quick first. So 45% of this blend is 14-year-old bourbon.
Okay.
37.5% of it is 18-year-old bourbon.
Okay.
10% is 11-year-old bourbon. 5% is 9-year-old bourbon. So the lowest age is 9.
Okay.
And then they have 2.5% of 17-year-old bourbon.
Oh, and they put that right on the back. That's
They're
actually
very,
cool.
very transparent. So
Right.
Bardstown,
I don't know
they
if I've
make a
seen
point
that.
of
Like
that.
they got the percentage.
All of their
decimals and
bottles
everything.
do. So if you look at the back of them, they'll have that for you.
That's awesome.
So based on the mash bills, did a little bit of digging. So about 50% of this bottle is wild turkey.
Ooh.
37.5% is Barton. 10% is Beam. And then the 2.5 is Heaven Hill. Now that's not official, but that's what we think. That's what I think.
None of the stuff is their own distillate, right?
Nothing's their own on this one.
All right.
That's interesting.
And then, looking at this, so the bourbons here, this is the inaugural release of their distillery reserve line.
Yeah.
So what their theory is here, these are going to be distillery only releases. I'm assuming all in 375s. So we'll go from there. Back to your question though, I didn't really know. I don't know how I feel about 375s versus 750.
Right.
I think I like the 375 aspect, but the price. This is $100.
That's a lot.
Like that's a lot
per ounce. That's a whole lot.
It'd be 200 for a 750. I don't know. I mean, it just seems weird to me on this one. I mean, what would you think about it?
I mean, I think it's great if you're not sure about what you're getting into.
Sure.
Because if you had spent $200 on this bottle and you're like, well, this is utter shit, you'd have a whole fucking bottle that you can't get rid of. So I think from that aspect, it's nice to get a smaller format because you can feel free to experiment more. Even though inherently it's going to be more expensive per ounce, because with any product, you go down in size, you get higher per unit of measurement, whatever it is. So it's a trade-off, but no, I mean, I think I appreciate them more because I like to try new things.
Yeah.
Whether it's bourbon or like any other kind of spirit or food or whatever. So having a more bite-sized format,
Bite-sized,
overall,
I like
seriously,
that.
I think it's
It's also like you could open one and try it. If you didn't like it, you can let people try it. Then you would have one to sell or trade or or save if you want to save it.
That's very true.
What do you think about it, Anthony? I didn't mean to leave you out.
No, that's
our
fine.
featured guest.
You featured guest, and you didn't even care what I had to say.
We do. We do a lot. We really All right, moving on.
So anyways, about the forest.
No, what I was going to say is I don't think this is really out of character for what Bardstown Bourbon Company does. And so if you look at a lot of their collaborations, Jason, and I mean, Nat, I'm not singling you out, but
No, of course.
I didn't even follow the Bardstown portfolio that closely.
Right, yeah.
But most of their stuff is what, 150 to 200 anyway.
Yeah.
So I feel like they already were at that price point and people were appreciating what they had. So even though I'm not super happy with seeing this high price, smaller package, but agreeing with what you said.
Sure.
It's nice. So I mean, it's not out of character for what they're doing.
No.
The biggest thing I wanted to say about it though was the 300-year-old oak. I didn't know without reading anything, and everyone talks about it on social media. It made it appear like there's 300-year-old barrels sitting somewhere.
100%. 100%.
Right?
I agree with that.
And
Yep.
I'm like, what is this?
Yep.
And then when I heard it was actually just 300-year-old wood that they were using, I was like, okay, makes more sense.
That would have been crazy. I'm not sure how
what's
that would.
that going to taste like? Moldy crap.
It probably would taste like anything, because I'm pretty sure all the liquid would have leaked out of all the holes and stuff,
Like, hey, we had patched this up and refurbished it and then put some wild turkey in it.
Yeah.
I could just imagine the metal, what do you call those around those?
The rings or whatever.
Rings, yeah.
I could just imagine those rusted all to hell falling
Oh, yeah, you
off.
keep rebuilding it. What is it? The barrel of Theseus. There you go. Yeah. Is it really a 300-year-old barrel anymore?
There you go. That's freaking great.
So yeah, I mean, I think this is the angle of this one. The 300-year-old wood that they use to rebarrel this in and finish.
Yeah.
But the blend itself, I mean, that's a nice blend, right? I mean, age stated and everything. On the nose on this one, y'all picking up anything exceptional or different?
I'm getting a lot of vanilla.
I'm getting a lot of just old oak. I mean, it just makes. And again, I'm probably leading that way because I'm thinking
It's almost tannic.
Yeah.
On the nose.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing that's interesting is, so what's the proof on this?
You know what? I don't know.
110. 110.1.
Okay.
Damn.
So I'm not getting any kind of the alcohol jumping out of the glass. It is all the oak that's jumping out at me. a very nice, like thick seasoned oak, maybe a couple of leather notes too.
Yeah.
Little leather and smoked cherry, vanilla.
Smooth. You get smooth in there too.
Oh, smooth.
You got to hit the main three, right?
Right.
So the wood here came, and Matt will talk about it in a minute. So it's the Berce, I think you say it, forest in France.
It's Berce.
Berce.
Did you see the
Berce.
SNL skit?
Berce.
We're like the Bears.
The Bears. That's how you say
pronounce
it.
Berce.
Okay.
Berce.
Berce.
Oh, Berce.
I'm gonna disagree with
Berce.
you. I think it's Berce.
There you go.
Okay, well, you sound fancy when you say it like
I took
that.
French in like middle school, so can't you
So
tell?
you've got to be right. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
There you
definitely
go.
For sure.
France.
So the plot is
France. Dennis Leary. Country that made Jerry Lewis famous. I'm just joking. Sorry.
I don't even know where that's in reference to.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The Dennis
I have
Leary
no idea.
special?
I'm just laughing.
idea. He's laughing like sympathetically.
Yeah.
And we're all like,
If one person out there has seen the old Dennis Leary stand up, that's from There
probably is one or something.
Person
Yeah.
that's gonna watch this.
there's dozens of them.
You got a young audience, they're gonna be like, "That old guy's crazy."
So what are you thinking on tasting notes? Any different than
I haven't even tasted it yet. I'm just enjoying this nose so much.
the nose? Is great.
It is very
Nose is
nosy.
great. I mean, these trees, and I know Matt's going to talk about it. I'm going to steal a little bit of his thunder, but they were planted in 1715. So the reign of Louis XIV is when these damn things were planted. So pretty cool. And the barrels have an intricate grain structure, unparalleled density, and strong enough to restore the Notre Dame Spire.
Yeah.
That's the press release.
Dense and strong.
That's so strong.
There you go.
Let me jump into exactly why the wood is significant, and as you all taste it, and we'll start doing some notes here. But just some background on the Notre Dame Cathedral. This is crazy. Did you know that Notre Dame was built between somewhere around 1163 and 1345?
Damn, I did not.
It took almost 200 years to build Notre Dame because it was all done by hand, and it spanned like multiple wars and like political conflicts, and I think there was a plague in there somewhere.
Oh.
It just kept halting production, and then they would keep like evolving like the whole entire the blueprints or whatever,
Right.
whatever they call blueprints back
Ring
then.
around the rosy, pocket full of posies, the plague.
It's true.
Yeah, exactly, pretty much.
Keep the smell down, baby.
There you go.
Yeah, but it is
I'm
located.
following you there.
Notre Dame's located in Paris, France, and it is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so it's protected from, I don't know, like physically. but-
Vandals.
Yeah.
Vandals.
Not vandals, but like, yeah, politically or whatever.
Damn, I was gonna go there and spray paint it.
Yeah, no, you can't because UNESCO says no. It's known for its Gothic architecture and its grotesques and gargoyles. Do you know what those are? You know what gargoyles are?
I know
right?
grotesque are like zombie looking things. Is that what they are?
Actually, probably. It's just kind of like artistic expression on there, but they kind of look like gargoyles.
Right.
There's actually a specific difference, and I didn't know this.
Oh, so they're like a gargoyle too.
Kind of, yeah. They can be like images of like, scary looking things. Gargoyles specifically have a spout with a functioning water, with a water function in it.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
so they'll just like spit water out of their mouth or their like dick or something like that. That's what makes a gargoyle a gargoyle.
So they spit, they don't swallow the gargoyles.
There might be some that swallow, yeah. No, that's what they're grotesque.
I'm just making
yeah.
okay. I'm just making
Swallow,
sure.
yeah.
I was
You
making
guys
sure.
got the quick wit, man. I can't keep up.
Dennis Leary over there.
I know, yeah. Go back to 1980 stand-up.
That album was called "No Cure for Cancer." That's Dennis Leary's album.
Okay, yeah.
Thanks
Okay,
for
Grandpa.
bringing that
Take it back to it. Yeah, I can remember when
we were all waiting on bated breath for that. Yeah. But anyways, where this comes in, kind of crossover. In 2019, on April 15th, there was a fire that destroyed most of the roof, and then some like smoke damage and stuff on the inside. It's all like stone on the inside. So
I wonder what started it. I guess electrical probably.
So they don't really know, but yeah, they think it was like part of like some minor restoration effort.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like a workplace accident. or
Probably be
something
hard
like
to
that.
sue the contractor since it was like in the 1300s.
Well, it was 2019.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, it'd be hard to sue him then. You know.
But yeah, I don't
I
know.
assumed it was like clumsy altar boy, like carrying the candle up and boom.
I know, yeah. One of those swinging lantern things with the fire coals in them. Yeah.
I got something's wrong with me.
Yeah. So anyways, the French government decided to rebuild the structure and the roof. They sourced trees from the Berce forest.
Berce.
Berce. And like Jason was saying, the wood there is over 300 years old. It's actually a sustainably managed forest. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
they do use the wood in there for a lot of different projects, but they replenish it and they make sure it's, they're not going to tear it all down. It is not UNESCO protected, so go ahead and spray paint all those trees if you want to. I thought that was super interesting. That old wood, supposedly, it's used actually in a lot of barrel making and stuff like that, but it's porous and nuanced in a way that it should give bourbon, or whatever you put in it, like a more distinct kind of nuanced profile.
We see a bottle there. One thing you're talking about that finishing in here. 14 months. I was going to say I don't know how long they kept it in the barrel.
Yeah,
but it was in there for 14 months in that 300-year-old barrels.
But they primarily aged it in American oak, from what I saw.
Oh yeah, they were already exactly.
Yeah.
They were already like the 9 to 18-year-old bourbons that were aged, and then they took those, blended them together, and added them in these 300-year-old.
Yeah.
So this is double dense oak.
Yeah. So it's double oaked almost.
Yeah. And it's not made by Woodford.
No.
There you go.
Yeah. So what do y'all think of the juice? I drank mine already. So
Man, it gets you nowhere. I think it's really good. It's definitely got some like funk to it. It's a little bit old from that regard. Definitely, it's kind of sweet to me. I get vanilla, like a sweet vanilla. Maybe there's a little fruit coming through to me too. I don't know if it's necessarily cherry, but that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, it's a lot of seasoned oak to me. Cherry, vanilla, classic bourbon flavors, maybe a little brown sugar sweetness.
Yeah,
is that kind of what it is?
I can see that.
I get that brown sugar sweetness. That's kind of almost primary.
It's got nice sweetness. My only thing, again, this is something I've been doing a lot on our own podcast, is the finish is just a little bit kind of like, okay. It's got much more upfront palate and nosing.
Totally agree.
And the finish falls a little bit flat for me. But when I say a little bit, I'm not trying to be super critical of it. I think it's a very good whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The end, for me, it's almost like, I don't know if astringent is the word.
It's a
kinda
quick finish with a little bit of that too.
Yeah, just like kind of like hits.
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, I like it all around.
So what do you think? I mean, I know we're jumping the gun a little bit, but talking about worth. So would you buy it again at 100? Do you think, Anthony?
I do. I think that I would buy this at $100, but I think, and I could be wrong, that I saw this for like 200 or 300. Is that correct?
This bottle, this 375,
350 on secondary. They jumped up crazy.
That I would not do.
Yeah,
I could say that with all honesty. That
insane,
350 is a little bit crazy.
I mean, they made 3,000 bottles roughly is what the the estimate is. They didn't do an official press release of how many, but still.
I get it then. I understand. I mean, that limited, so that's about 1,500 bottles total, no nationwide distribution.
Mm-hmm.
I get why it's 350, but I'm not paying it for it.
Yeah. Would you do it for 100?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Honestly, like it's not. I don't think, to me, if I get something and I know what it is, it has to be distinct.
Right.
Like I know you guys love your bourbon. I love it too. I'm not in it deep. I'll admit I'm not in deep in the game as you all are.
Right.
And I never will be. I have nothing against it.
That's what I heard. I heard you were on
sometimes
fake profiles.
Real deep,
I heard you got fake profiles on Facebook and everything.
Really
I got a burner profile.
There you go.
Yeah, I actually sold this to Jason.
Yep.
He doesn't even know that. Yeah. I got this whole like cloak and dagger thing going on behind the scenes. But yeah, I love experimenting with like new things altogether. I love distinct flavor profiles in everything that I do. So this one, it is very good.
It is very good.
And they did a great job with it. To me, it tastes too much like something else I could get for $30 cheaper.
I get it. I think I would buy it again for 100. I don't think I'd buy 6 of them. You know what I mean? Keep it back, but I would like to have another bottle for 100 if I could get it for that. But I'm kind of leaning more towards what you said than Anthony probably. I don't think this is. Well, I guess we all said it. I don't think it's exceptional. I think it had the potential to be.
Yeah.
It's good, but I've had much better things out there. I mean, I don't think it's a top for me.
Why didn't they use their own juice?
They don't have anything that old, probably, do they?
I don't think they have anything that old, but the other thing is like they're sitting on so much stuff out there and they do so much contract distillation. It's probably just whatever the master blender thought was.
Well, that's the thing. It's a blend. They could have
components.
I guess it would have ruined the recipe if they put, something that's 5 years old in there or whatever.
Well, they blend the taste. I mean, they got some of their Bardstown series. When I was on Anthony's show guesting on there, we had was it Discovery 12?
And that had the old turkey juice.
Fantastic,
and I liked it.
right?
Really?
Yeah.
Just taking a tiny bit more of this.
Go ahead, and you can't get that. You can't find that damn bottle. Like you can find it secondary, but it must have been a very, very small release. Nobody had it. Right. So, but
I was mad.
They're used to doing that. They're used to blending in some of their stuff with a little bit of older stuff. Sure. And I mean, again, on the back, it'll show you. Yeah. You have to look up the mash bill. It doesn't say wild turkey. You have to find it.
I noticed that. They give you the codes for the mash bill.
And the one thing I'll say, though, is you got basically most of this blend being 11 years or older. In today's market, with that kind of age, and then the 300, there's still a poor bastard somewhere in America right now who's like, well, would you look at that? This is 300-year-old shit.
Right.
And it's like, no, you know what's happening right now. 100%. 100%. Come drink this 300-year-old age bourbon.
Yeah.
Somebody's doing it. But back to what I was originally saying. I got a little carried away there. It's got nice aged product in it. I mean, so I guess for when you think about price and stuff, I mean, that has to be factored in too, right? Yeah. It's $100.
Yeah, I mean, you got 80% of your blend, over 80% of your blend between 14 and 18 years old. Right. So we'll say your average is probably 15 year on this bottle.
And which one did you say was the turkey? Which part of the
50%.
blend?
So your wild turkey is going to be the 14-year-old and the 9-year-old.
Personally, I think you can.
I agree.
I think it shows it on the finish.
But I agree with you, but I don't know if that was in my mind. I don't know if I'd pick that out if it wasn't already in my mind. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, if they didn't tell you what it was or you didn't pick out what it was.
There's a lot of Barton, too. I mean, it's 45% wild turkey, the oldest, then an additional 5% wild turkey. Right. And then Barton has 37.5. So that's your two main ones.
What's the 5% 9-year?
That's wild turkey.
That's the wild turkey.
Yep. And then there's the 14 years wild turkey.
Also,
the finish almost has like a pastry, like a
frosted pastry finish. Totally agree.
And then the pastry though, like if the pastry wasn't good, kind of sticks there. Yeah. That's what it is. It's all the sweetness kind of levels out to like almost like a doughy finish.
Right. I agree with that. That's a great description.
Yeah.
And you look at this though, the price though, if you had 15-year-old on average bottle at $10 per year, you're a $150 bottle. Sure. That's for $750.
For $750.
So that'd be $75. So I mean, I think they have it priced probably correct. I don't think it's overpriced for the market. Maybe at this very moment it was. You know, a lot of people's laying off employees. I don't think bourbon's at its peak at all.
I agree, like that. But I think you look at this bottle, and I think we can all agree that they went heavy with the marketing on this one. They went real heavy.
Yeah,
with the
speaking of that, like the people that they sent it out to, so like your influencers. I guess we're not one of them, but
we aren't either. Don't worry.
They have like a little box. It was kind of cheaply made. A lot of them broke, but it's pretty cool.
We appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Was it?
Just wrap it in duct tape before you put it on camera. Jesus Christ!
But it's like a little small portion of a cathedral with like the stained glass. You know what I mean?
That's
like
cool.
Little thing.
Oh.
It's pretty cool.
I'm a sucker for marketing, so I respect what they're doing. But going back to what I was saying originally, it's like beautiful label, beautiful bottle. 300-year-old wood, I get it. Like you were saying, Anthony, they're trying to they're trying to insinuate something here that someone's going to be like, oh God, I have to have 300-year-old bourbon. We can see right through that, you know. But if they're going to go so heavy on the marketing, it would seem like logical to put a piece of your own product in there.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to push it that hard, well, this is also us. We're proud of us too.
But looking at them, I mean, they've been around since 2014. So Bardstown Bourbon Company, they create over 50 unique mash bills for over 30 brands.
That's
so
insane.
They're like, think of them like MGP of Kentucky, right? Like they have, I don't even know what other brands they have.
They own Green River, right?
I don't know. I don't know.
Pretty sure. Yeah,
well, they're owned by like a big conglomerate that I think they're the only bourbon company they own. Now, Green River, they might have bought them too.
I think they bought them, and what I was going to say is they seem to be positioning themselves to be able to. Here's the thing, MGP, right?
Yeah.
People love MGP, but at the end of the day, it still says distilled and aged in Indiana.
Yeah.
When you can say distilled and aged in Kentucky, that still carries more clout.
Sure. 100%.
And they do make good whiskey. They make a lot of the same mash bills that MGP does, and a lot of brands that are up and coming and established brands are using them.
I mean, I think Green River's one of the better like value brands you can probably find right now.
Right now, some of the source Green River that people are buying, like on the open market, the barrels that are available, fantastic stuff. I've been very critical of Green River as like a standalone brand because I don't think some of their products are that great. But we had a 6-year-old from Bourbon Junkies, the Essence brand. That was killer.
You had a 6-year-old kid on Chase Bourbon? Dude, we go young.
That's a little too young. That's a little too young.
The line over there.
I wouldn't actually say it on camera. I mean,
I'm not gonna edit that out. I'm gonna send the copy to the social
that was
services.
Anthony, not us.
A 6-year-old distilled bottle.
Okay.
Sure.
Damn it.
Sure. 6-year-old taking the bottle.
Yeah, no, it's really good. But
No, I
anyway,
mean, I
not to be
think
carried away.
it's weird too. You know, they bought Green River. You said they just laid off like 30% of their workforce in the last couple of
Everybody
weeks.
is right now, though. Yeah.
So I mean, I thought Green River was like coming up quick. I mean, they were
Right.
but now, I mean, I just think bourbon's in a weird spot at the moment, man.
Well, with all the tariffs and stuff like that,
tariff
it's
stuff is good.
Even
Yeah,
before that, though, was in a weird
Sure,
spot.
you're
Now
right.
it's making it even
It's
worse.
making it even worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say quickly about that is I heard that when you think about stepwise where it was years ago versus how it peaked out and sort of almost
still way
was
ahead.
even higher, we're still way ahead. And I don't think that the tourism aspect and unique experience aspect of it is what's going to carry it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there wasn't. I mean, my professor came into town a couple weeks ago for the Bourbon Classic, and he's not the kind of guy like that would have ever done anything like that when I knew him back when he was, when I was working with him at Penn State.
Right.
And, that place was packed. The Bourbon Classic was packed.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. And there was people and it wasn't cheap to go to that either, So it just brought a lot, like we were at Buffalo Trace, a lot of things. The tourism aspect of bourbon is really still up.
I agree.
When these distillery only releases even bring, more of the bourbon nerds into there too.
Right.
Or people that are like, oh, we're going to go by, we might get a chance to get something great.
Yeah.
But I mean, Bardstown's they built their campus as like a destination. So, they have
been?
like, I've never been. Have you, Anthony? Have you been to Bardstown?
I've been there for one time.
Okay.
They have a dynamic restaurant there.
Yeah, really?
So Blue Run did their first ever barrel lottery there. Do you remember that?
No, I remember you going.
That's the only time that ever felt important was when Blue Run invited us. The Mashup Podcast was amongst other influencers.
That's awesome, yeah.
At Bardstown's restaurant, which is fantastic for that draft. We didn't win the draft, which was fine.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was a cool
I think
event
you
to
heard
be part
about it.
of.
I don't think it is fun.
Yeah, I was butthurt about it. Yeah.
Sons of bitches.
When you said this brings the enthusiasts out, I was like, it also brings out the fucking flippers.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why people's down there every day. They're coming every morning when they were releasing these and selling them. I mean, $3.50 a pop. So you're making after expenses, you're probably making $180, $200 a bottle.
Max profits.
Max profits, bro.
Have you all ever had any like really old like wood barrels or really old barrels before? Anything similar to this?
No, I don't think so. I've never seen anybody do that before that I'm aware of.
I think it's
a
really
great
cool.
concept.
No, it is. Yeah, I've never seen it either.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, it's good. It's good. I wouldn't buy it again, but I'm glad you shared it and you bought it.
You're welcome.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Awesome.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thanks for tuning in. If you guys enjoyed this, please share it with somebody else. And if you didn't, then keep drinking until you do. For more Arsenic Culture, you can check us out on all the socials. We are at Arsenic Culture, and we'll see you on the next one.